Most people think peace should automatically feel good. They imagine that if life finally calms down, if there are fewer problems, fewer interruptions, less pressure, less emotional noise, then the body and the mind should instantly relax. It sounds logical. If stress leaves, peace should arrive. If chaos slows down, comfort should follow. But one thing that is not talked about enough in mental health is that for many people, quiet does not feel peaceful right away. Sometimes quiet feels strange. Sometimes calm feels uncomfortable. Sometimes life finally slows down, and instead of relief, a person feels restless, uneasy, emotionally exposed, mentally loud, or even anxious in ways they did not expect. And that can be deeply confusing because it makes people wonder why they do not feel better when circumstances look calmer on the outside. Welcome back to Blooming After Darkness. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you found this space. And if you're back again, thank you so much for being here. I always want this space to feel honest because mental health is often described in ways that sound neat and easy. But real emotional life is layered, messy, and sometimes the things people expect to feel comforting can actually feel unfamiliar at first. That does not mean something is wrong with you. It often means your nervous system has learned patterns that do not immediately switch just because life got quieter. A lot of people spend years functioning in movement. They function in pressure, deadlines, emotional responsibility, overstimulation, multitasking, constant thinking, constant checking, constant anticipating, constant preparing, constant responding. Even if they are tired, they keep moving because movement becomes normal. Their body learns that normal means something that always needs attention. Their thoughts learn that normal means something is always waiting. The nervous system learns that being alert is safer than being completely relaxed because alertness became familiar. And then one day, life gets quieter, maybe not perfect, maybe not easy, but quieter than before. And suddenly they notice something they did not expect. They do not immediately feel calm. Instead, they sit down and they feel strange. They have a free moment and suddenly thoughts become louder. They have an evening with nothing urgent and their chest feels tight for no obvious reason. And you're not alone. I have been there as well. They wake up to a slower day and instead of relief, there is mental restlessness, almost like their body does not know what to do with the absence of urgency. That moment confuses people because externally nothing bad is happening, yet internally something feels unsettled. The reason this matters so much is because many people misinterpret that feeling. They think, why can't I relax? Why am I uncomfortable when things are finally calm? Why do I almost feel better when I'm busy than when everything slows down? Why do I feel emotionally odd when there is finally silence? But often the answer is not that calm is bad. The answer is that calm can feel unfamiliar when your system has adapted to constant input. The body learns rhythm. If the rhythm has been fast for a long time, slower rhythm can feel emotionally unusual at first. It can almost feel like something is missing, not because chaos was healthy, but because chaos became expected. That is why some people unconsciously stay busy, even when they're exhausted. They say they want rest, but when rest arrives, they immediately reach for stimulation. They check something, clean something, scroll something, answer something, organize something, start another task, look for something else to think about. Not always because they want distraction, but because silence suddenly creates awareness, and awareness can feel intense when someone has been moving for too long. Quiet often reveals what movement covered up. That is one of the most overlooked emotional experiences there is, because movement can cover fatigue, movement can cover grief, movement can cover loneliness, movement can cover uncertainty, movement can cover body tension, and movement can cover thoughts that were present all day, but too buried under activity to fully hear. And then quiet arrives, and suddenly all of it becomes more noticeable. That does not mean quiet caused the discomfort. It means quiet removed enough noise for discomfort to become visible. This happens all the time in ordinary life. A person can spend an entire day solving problems, answering messages, taking care of responsibilities, thinking ahead, handling interruptions, and then the moment the house gets quiet, the body starts reacting differently. Maybe the shoulders suddenly feel tight. Maybe the stomach feels strange. Maybe thoughts become louder. Maybe emotions that did not have room earlier begin rising all at once. People often think something changed emotionally in that moment, but often what changed is simply awareness. The nervous system finally had enough space to notice what it was carrying. This is also why weekends can feel strange for some people. They wait all week for rest, but when rest arrives, they feel mentally scattered, emotionally flat, unusually irritable, or oddly uneasy. Nothing dramatic happened. They simply moved from structured motion into open space, and open space asks something different from the mind. Open space asks for presence. And presence feels different when someone has spent a long time surviving through movement. For some people, quiet also brings guilt. They sit down and immediately think of everything they should be doing, even if nothing urgent exists. The mind creates urgency because urgency became linked to worth. If I'm resting, I should probably be doing something. If I'm sitting, I should probably fix something. If I have time, I should probably use it productively. That pressure is deeper than productivity. Sometimes it is identity. Because many people quietly build identity around being needed, solving, carrying, helping, organizing, or staying mentally ahead. And when nothing urgent is demanding them, they feel emotionally strange because the nervous system asks, who am I when I am not actively responding to something? That question can create subtle discomfort people do not expect. Who am I when nobody needs me right this second? And I feel that deeply with my 3 kids. Who am I when nothing immediate is wrong? Who am I when there is no pressure driving me? Those questions are not always conscious, but they exist underneath rest more often than people realize. That is why calm can sometimes feel empty before it feels comforting. And emptiness is often misunderstood. People think emptiness means sadness, but sometimes emptiness simply means there is no external noise filling the space you are suddenly aware of. For some people, calm even feels suspicious. They sit in a peaceful moment, and part of them waits for interruption. It is hard to fully trust the quiet because internally, they are preparing for something to happen. This often happens when someone has spent long periods emotionally anticipating, always waiting for the next problem, the next interruption, the next need, the next demand, the next disappointment, the next thing that requires adjustment. Even when life improves, the body may still wait. That waiting creates subtle tension. So externally, life looks calm, but internally, the system has not fully accepted calm yet. That is not failure. That is conditioning. The nervous system repeats what it's learned. If alertness was repeated long enough, alertness does not appear instantly just because circumstances changed. This is why some people notice body sensations more intensely when life gets quiet too. Suddenly they hear their heartbeat more, notice their breathing more, feel tension in their jaw more, feel tiredness more, feel body heaviness more. Nothing dramatic necessarily changed physically. Awareness simply increased because distraction decreased. And awareness without preparation can feel intense. That intensity can make people think something is wrong when often it simply means the body is finally audible. This also explains why some people struggle to sit in silence without reaching for background sound, their phone, music. Silence can feel emotionally loud because in silence there is less covering what the mind is doing. Thoughts become easier to hear. Unfinished feelings become easier to hear. Body signals become easier to hear. And not everyone is used to that immediately. Some people think healing means they should love silence right away, but that is not always true. Sometimes healing begins with learning that silence does not have to be threatening, even if it feels unusual at first. That learning takes repetition because trust takes repetition. The nervous system learns calm the same way it learned stress, through repeated experience, not through one perfect moment. Repeated moments, ordinary moments when nothing dramatic happens, and eventually the body begins believing quiet is not dangerous. That process is slower than people expect, and because it is slower, many judge themselves too early. They think, I should be calmer by now. I should enjoy this more. I should know how to relax better than this. But self-judgment often adds more tension than the original discomfort. Curiosity helps far more. Curiosity sounds like, what exactly feels unfamiliar right now? Is it silence? Is it lack of urgency? Is it the absence of distraction? Is it that my body is still expecting movement? Is it that my mind is noticing what it ignored earlier? Those questions create understanding, and understanding reduces fear. Another thing that happens when life gets quiet is grief sometimes becomes clearer. During busy periods, grief can stay buried under function. A person handles what needs handling, keeps moving, keeps responding, keeps getting through the day. Then when life slows down, emotions they did not fully process become easy to feel. That can surprise people because they think, why am I emotional now when things are calmer? But often calm creates enough space for postponed emotion. The same is true for loneliness. A person can be productive all day and only feel loneliness when everything stops. Not because loneliness appeared suddenly, but because there is finally enough silence to hear it. Again, quiet did not create it. Quiet revealed it. And revealing is uncomfortable before it becomes useful. That does not mean avoid quiet. It means understand what quiet sometimes does. It gives emotional material room to rise. The same thing happens with overstimulation recovery. If someone has been around noise, people, responsibility, screens, tasks, decisions, and interruptions all day, quiet often feels necessary but also emotionally sensitive. That is why tiny things suddenly feel bigger in calm moments too. A sound feels louder, a thought feels heavier, a small worry feels more noticeable. The nervous system is adjusting downward, and during adjustment, awareness often sharpens first before settling. This is why some people think they are worse at night, when often night simply removes enough daytime distraction for inner material to become clearer. So if peace feels strange, if calm feels unfamiliar, if quiet makes thoughts louder, if slower movements feel emotionally awkward, that does not mean you are doing calm wrong. It often means your nervous system is learning a rhythm it does not fully trust yet. And trust grows slowly. Quiet becomes easier through repetition, not force. Rest becomes softer through familiarity, not pressure. Stillness becomes less threatening through ordinary practice, not perfection. This concludes the end of this video. But if this conversation resonates with you, I have more resources on my website, guides, tools, and support you can explore at your own pace. No pressure. It's just there if it helps. And if you found this helpful or eye-opening, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss future videos where we talk about the parts of mental health people rarely explain. Like this video if it gave you a new perspective, and drop a comment below letting me know what you want to see next. I do read every comment, and I love creating content that actually helps you. Remember, sometimes peace feels strange, not because something is wrong, but because your system is still learning that quiet can be safe too. Take care of yourself, keep going, and I'll see you in the next video.